Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, but sometimes misinformed. This is Danny G sitting alongside Rio and my boy Jimmer here, and we've got something a little different today. We're going to talk Major League Baseball. Playoff race is underway. We've got a lot of things to talk about today, so that'll be the big focal point. But there's a lot going on in sports just everywhere, and I want to kick it over to Jimmer to give us what the hell's going on right now, man.
We're kind of packed here. The Seahawks and four-time Pro Bowler Dwayne Brown agreed to rework contract that maxes out at $12 million this year. In the same line, Vikings offensive tackle Brian O'Neill signs a 5-year, $92.5 million deal to become the second highest paid right tackle in the league.
Let's go.
Yeah, very, very underrated, and hopefully it gives him a little, spotlight to get a Pro Bowl this year, because he has been balling out. He's been one of the higher graded right tackles in the league. So, Garrett Cole exits early for the Yankees with hamstring tightness.
Tough. Hammies always suck.
Yeah, especially when they're making that push.
Yeah,
right. Come down to the end, but I can see, they think they got that spot, they can lock it down, save them for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. NL East pretty tight right there, especially that wild card. Pujols homers at St. Louis after they give him a standing ovation for his return. I don't know if you could script that any better, but
it's so perfect.
Yeah,
definitely.
Just a legend. He honestly, he was one of my favorite players growing up, and hopefully he still has a few more years. I mean, obviously not in the same stature, but hopefully he gets into that 700 plus club and we start balling. So
yeah, he's one of those guys that if you could create a baseball player in a video game, that's exactly who you'd create as a batter.
Oh yeah,
right?
You didn't actually whenever they make those video games where they cartoonistic jack the players, you didn't have to go very far with Pujols. He already was
right.
There.
Yep,
exactly.
Absolutely.
The Ravens signed Le'Veon Bell to the practice squad.
Yeah, get some more depth, especially with both their boys going down.
Dobbins and Justice Hill.
Yeah, they both go down. You're going to need somebody else to run the ball. So he's going to be
I'll leave you. I'm going to go ahead and let you do it because I was about to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if he's in your news and notes, but the Saints also let go of Latavius Murray. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe they let go of Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I
and
think
get
Bell is
Latavius.
done there.
Yeah, could be.
I'm not a Le'Veon guy. I mean, he was obviously put up all the stats in the world in Pittsburgh, but the way the Ravens run their offense, this isn't a dance behind an offensive lineman for 30 seconds and then run type of offense. It is literally, I hand you the rock, you're
hitting the hole
in our RPO, and you're hitting the hole and you're going, and I don't think he has that in him.
No, he never has. But I tell you what, Frank Gore also is still not signed out there. I think I might take Frank Gore over Le'Veon Bell too.
I'd take AP over him.
Yeah.
In that offense, all you got to do is run downhill. I don't know. But to each their own. I don't know if they forgot that he hasn't played a few years for Pittsburgh, so they're not getting a bunch of secrets from him. We have Gonzaga's coach, Mark Few, facing DUI charge in Idaho. He was pulled over driving erratically and speeding with a .119 and a .20 blood alcohol level.
Interesting. That one I didn't hear about.
Nope. I think over there he kind of makes his own rules anyway. Isn't like Gonzaga's be like, you know what, we're good. No, he can kind of almost do what he wants. I'm sure he's real apologetic though.
Of course.
T.J. Watt and the Steelers extension talks getting ugly. Steelers' stance on contract guarantees is threatening to sink talks with the All-Pro.
That's interesting you bring that up because did you see Big Ben? He come out saying basically hand him an empty check and write it for whatever amount he wants, and I think they should. Dude's been balling out for him.
I think they should too. I mean, honestly, what is he? He's in the last year of his rookie deal, I assume. So that's the reason why there's even so I was reading comments online from just normal people talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, I'm tired of these athletes." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "Well, he's in his rookie deal. He's more than covered his end of the bargain. Like, let's try to get something nailed down. This isn't like the Xavier Howard, where you sign a big time deal with the Dolphins, and then the very next year, you're threatening to sit out because you're not paid enough. Hold on, you literally just signed the deal. It wasn't a rookie deal. You just signed one.
Yep.
Play it out.
Yeah, he's a stud. You got to pay him. You want to keep him. He's got to be there a long time. If this falls apart, holy shit, big problem for Pittsburgh, man.
Big problem.
I'm pretty sure seems like a pretty damn good dude. I'm sure I'm a venture a guess and go on a limb that he's a pretty good locker room guy too. So there's no domestics, there's none of that we've heard of so far. So I don't know why how is this even a conversation? I
Right,
guess.
and a key guy on your defense, so
Yeah.
got to keep him.
Yeah, Rio, I'm glad you mentioned Big Ben because I don't know if you heard the rest of that quote. Tell me what comes to your mind right after I say this. But the other part of what he said was, that's why I took less money so guys like him could get paid. This is what Big Ben said.
Hold on, you took less money, playa, because you're lucky they had a little bit of loyalty to you because your career is going down right now. And literally you took less money, otherwise they were going to cut you. In fact, you probably should take it. You know what? You want him to get more money? I don't know what their salary cap situation is. I don't have that in front of me. Go ahead and show it again. Go ahead and take another. You know what? He's missing $10 million. I'll go ahead and give him $10 million because he's going to be carrying my ass all year.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely not wrong on this one. That's for damn certain.
For damn certain.
De'Aaron Fox says he was given a random drug test by the NBA after posting workout videos on Instagram.
Yeah, man. I wish somebody did that to me when I put pictures like that up. Like, oh, dude, you need to go to the gym more.
Just, hey, there's nothing wrong with some dad bod, baby. Nothing wrong with it.
My wife's got expectations now, so I got to keep them. Eat another Twinkie.
Maybe. I was gonna say those chicks at the bar the one time, they were they had no problem with your dad bod.
Loving it.
I think they even told your wife, like, hey, are you sure he's married?
Yeah, Cougar Chris over here.
Calipari says he had COVID and symptoms this summer, even with being vaccinated.
You know, been hearing that a lot. Oh, I took the vaccine. Oh, wow, I got COVID. Crazy, huh?
Right.
Makes sense if you don't think about it.
Makes sense if you don't think about it right there. We already kind of touched on it. Saints released Latavius Murray after refusing to take a pay cut. Any thoughts on that?
Dumb move. I don't know what their cap situation is, but they must really like that guy who's Ty Johnson or something. I can't remember his name exactly, who was pushing for that second spot, but why not keep him? I don't know what he's making, like I said, in their cap situation. I see him getting picked up pretty quick. Baltimore, obviously, the number one standing out here.
Yep. Here's one of my pretty interesting ones. Trump and Trump Jr. to call Holyfield Belfort on alternate telecast.
I love it. I'm in. I want to hear this.
All in.
I don't even have to watch a fight. I just want to listen.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. I don't know what you're thinking is there, Rio, but
Hey, man, whatever. All's fair, man. Just let it rip.
you know,
I think it'll be funny.
It'll be hilarious.
It'll be hilarious. Good time.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I felt like a little American rush just ran through my body when I read it. You know, just to go, and I mean, with Holyfield's name in there too. That being said, Nelson Cruz, 41, becomes oldest to hit 30 homers in a season. Ageless wonder.
Yeah, man. I wish Rangers had locked them up back when they had, we had a back-to-back World Series run that didn't produce a trophy, but it just didn't break the bank to sign him at the time, and it was signing I think they to this day regret. Obviously, Minnesota had to move on the trade deadline, but yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, he was a huge locker room guy. I mean, hell, they're making him out to be kind of like a all-time Twins great, and he was only there for 2-3 years, and I don't have a problem with that. One hell of a guy, I mean, he was part of the reason why a couple years ago they were named the Bomber Squad, hold the MLB record for most home runs in a season by a team. But yeah, how many more years from him?
God,
He's got some time yet.
2 yet. You got to start seeing the everything come on down. The numbers start walking down, and that's when you'll see it. Also depends on if he's on the right squad. Who they've gotten in the farm system, him there. So I think with the right team, he's going to have several more years yet.
All right. The Saints trade for Texans cornerback Bradley Roby, who will miss week 1, which was part of his 6-game PED suspension. He served 5 of it last year. I'm going to go ahead and point out that I'm pretty sure they're going to be starting like all college players here soon. They're literally, every time we turn around, it seems like they're trading someone else. I hope somebody comes up and grabs Whitney Merciless here soon. Get him the hell out of there, and give him a chance to compete on a real team. So, thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think we feel the same there. It's funny because online I'm seeing a lot of predictions that Saints still make the playoffs and that type of thing, which I gave him more credit than you, Jimmer. But, man, to be in the playoff race this year, I don't know about that.
Well, somebody hasn't told Sean Payton that their team is going to be bad regardless. So, at bare minimum, they're still trying these moves. Because the very next move was Saints signed cornerback Desmond Trufant on Monday.
Right. So this only helps that defense, which was already
pretty decent,
good defense as it was. So not only but I think they're trying to go Washington's route. Defense going to have to carry the team for a lot of games.
Yeah, I don't think they're on the same level as Washington.
No,
but
Washington's
offense
is much better, but
no, I just mean their defense. I don't think their defense is even.
Yeah,
on the same
not
level as
that level,
Washington's.
no. But
yeah, I see.
They're going to lean on their defense,
Well, they're going to have to. Jameis Winston 30+ interceptions. So.
Woof.
You think so?
Well, you taking that bet, Danny? Let's
no,
go.
but I will say 20. I mean, as long as injury
I can
and
see it, man.
or he'll get yanked before it happens.
I could see 20.
But
I could see. 20.
I could see 40 and 20 in 17-game season.
40 and 20.
40 TDs. Oh yeah, dude. He's not if he doesn't get replaced before that. Like I said, if he's
20 interceptions,
you throw multiple picks a game. They're gonna go to Taysom. So.
Jeter pokes fun at the single baseball writer that didn't vote him into the Hall of Fame in his speech. This prevented him from becoming a unanimous selection. I just thought it was funny. I don't know if you guys watched it or even seen a video clip of, a lot of stadiums around the country were putting up his Hall of Fame speech live as he was going, and I just thought it was funny when he's like, well, I appreciate all you, right? He's talking about the fans, this, that, and the other, and, played for all of you guys and the writers, except for the one or something like that. I just thought it was funny.
How many guys have been unanimously selected in baseball? Not many, right?
Not many. But does it his name just kind of...
Should he be up there?
Why wouldn't you vote for him for the...
Right, why leave?
I don't see a reason for a no.
Exactly. So I'm not saying we may be thinking the unanimous. Maybe that's what the one writer's like, well, I would vote for him, but I feel like everyone else is going to, so I'm going to throw a no vote on there because he shouldn't be unanimous. Yeah. And maybe that's the case, but is that how you should vote though?
No, definitely not. If you feel like they should be in the Hall of Fame, you vote them. Right.
So if they become unanimous, then so be it, I guess. But
yeah, he poked fun, which is no big deal. Jeter seems like a funny guy, but that was a dick move, no matter how you look at it. Voting him, no, Yeah. So.
Then we have Chris Webber says he received an apology from Michigan Athletic Director Warde Manuel for fallout from the 2003 booster investigation, in which the AD told him that we should have backed the 18-year-old Weber. This was not the same AD that was there when he was playing, by the way. So, just like kind of an apology for the whole booster stuff that was going on there. And Carson Wentz is to play week 1.
Hey, let's retouch. Only one person has been unanimously voted into the MLB Hall of Fame.
Who was it?
Mariano Rivera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy as a closer.
that is crazy.
You know, not like the starting pitcher. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13-time All-Star. Had share MVP votes 9 times. .7 ERA over 141 postseason innings. That is crazy.
Well, first off, they need to get younger with the writers. 'Cause they play like their thought process is completely old school.
Yeah.
You know, like, are you okay as a punishment for the first couple of years? Let's not put Barry Bonds in. How about we get over the whole steroid thing, because it was part of it, and that's just what it was. But he was one hell of a player even before he started juicing.
Yeah. Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. At the end
Let's
of
just
the day,
get that out there.
Right.
it may make you hit a ball farther. It does not make you see that ball any
See it-
quicker.
Right. And can we not agree there's a big time consensus back then that everyone was doing it?
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of the thing, like, okay, everyone's doing it. And I inclined to agree. Everyone was probably doing it at that time.
If not a very high majority. So just chalk it up as the steroid era in the Hall of Fame and still vote them in.
Yep.
You know, like technically Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa should be in there because they also revived baseball.
Exactly. They also made baseball a shit ton of money.
They did. That
Right.
summer in 98.
Are you going to give that money back?
And,
Right.
and
No.
baseball became fun, right? You're watching.
Yeah.
People are tuning into the game.
Yeah.
Is he going to hit another one? Is he going to hit another one? You know, the race going on. So, yeah.
In the same division, so they played each other quite a bit too during the season. I mean, and they're buddies. And I'm just saying, just all these guys like A-Rod, that shouldn't be is he really a conversation on whether he should be in the Hall of Fame?
Exactly.
Like, come on, people. I think the one guy needs to go before that, obviously, is name's escaping me. One of the greatest hitters of all time, Cincinnati Red. Bet on his
Pete.
own. Pete.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pete Rose, yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Pete Rose. That should already been done.
Already
like-
should have been done.
Like,
Like,
come the fuck on. Like, get over it. He didn't bet against his team.
right.
He bet on his team.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know?
agreed. He should go in before anybody else.
And
He should
then
go.
and then start lining those other boys up and let's
Yeah.
stop playing around.
Yep.
So that's all I got at this moment. Back to you.
All right. Well, let's cover some MLB playoff race, boys. Probably the biggest one I think everybody's kind of keeping their eye on, those Dodgers and the Giants. Who do you give the edge to here, especially with it coming down close? And, you know, whoever doesn't win gets the wild card spot. So who do you give the advantage to coming down here to the end and heading into the playoffs?
Yeah, it's so close between those two. So they played 19 times, right? And the Dodgers have won 9, and there's literally a 2-point differential
Oh.
in those games. Those teams
Nice.
are so closely matched. It's insane. They both have the pitching, right? The Dodgers have the best pitching. Giants with the second best, like basically a 3-point ERA versus a 3.3. They're both really, really good on both ends. I think the Dodgers have a little bit better bats. And when we come to playoffs, I think that's going to become really important. So I'd give the slightest edge to the Dodgers at this point. What do you think, Jimmer?
I think it's the Dodgers all the way.
All the way to the end.
I do.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's.
Okay.
Well, I think. Well, I guess if we're gonna give that pick, that's my World Series pick. But it's a nice story for San Fran this year.
Yeah.
Nobody was picking them to even be competing. I do believe at the beginning of the season, everyone was talking L.A. and San Diego, anyways. Fernando Tatis Jr. and and then San Diego made a bunch of trades to bring in some pitching too to start off. I think that once the Dodgers get rolling, I think they're kind of like those Miami Heat teams with LeBron, Wade, and Bosch. Like once they get to rolling, they would just kind of take a couple games or something like that. Where they, you know, if you guys remember watching like ESPN and all them, and they would sit there and talk about, they'd talk about kind of pushing the start button. You know, they're like a late start, but once they hit the start button, it's over. I think the Dodgers are doing the same thing. they already know they're going to get in. They don't need anything more than that, and they have the best roster all around. They paid for it, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and they're damn good. So I think it's them and everyone else. I don't think it really matters if they. I mean, preferably you want the division, you get your home games and all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, they're clear cut above the rest.
Yeah, I think if these two meet in the playoffs, that's essentially the World Series. I think they're the two best teams in baseball. The funny thing is that division's so tough. San Francisco's been hot. The Dodgers got really hot in the month of August. They actually went 17-3 for, I think, from about August 7th on. They only gained a game and a half in their division. How nuts is that? You play that well, and you barely do anything as far as making up ground. So this division stuff, man, all the way.
Yeah. You know, given the nod to the pitching over there, let's look at this. Walker, Buehler, Max Scherzer, and Julio Urias. Since the beginning of August, you talked about how hot they were. The Dodgers are 18-2 when those three guys start. That is insane. You know, and you imagine, you know,
and you know that's gonna be the 3-man rotation in the playoffs.
Right, exactly. That is some crazy stuff. The Giants, you know, Kevin Gausman, he's been their guy, but his ERA is over 4 in his past 9 starts, and he's only went over 5 innings twice. They got a couple injuries, Johnny Cueto and Alex Wood, and I didn't realize this, but the bullpen has had the 4th most pitch innings in the majors since August, so they're starting to get tired.
Yeah.
So you better hope your starters can burn up some innings and pitch well.
So I believe you need a strong bullpen. I do know that. But that being said, you can't bank on your bullpen. Like, you need starting pitching when it comes to playoffs.
You need a guy that can go 6 innings and
or
give
least,
up. Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you need that guy that can go at least 8. In the playoffs, 1 8-inning game, and then you need to bring in, hopefully you have one hell of a closer, but you need him to just sit there and eat up these innings and definitely keep your bullpen fresh. But like you were saying, that was interesting. That didn't realize that the bullpen was basically pitching so damn much. So that makes me feel even more. I mean, I was pretty confident anyway, but that almost seals the deal for me right there. That's just
Logan Webb's their other guy who's been one of their better starters, but they're kind of, you know, between those two, they got a couple injuries. Definitely pitching is in the Dodgers' favor. Let's see, another race, the NL East, which has kind of turned interesting since the Mets won 7-9, and you know that whole thumbs down incident.
Yeah.
They've got pretty hot.
8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah, but they don't have many games against each other, so you know everybody be scoreboard watching here. The Mets have a series against the Braves and Phillies, so that'll be definitely an interesting little turn of events there as we get down.
Is DeGrom, does he come? Is there any chance of him coming back this year?
I believe they come out and said possibly. They're not sure. I think I saw it come up. I can't remember if it was Twitter or where it come up at, but yeah, that guy was just balling early this season, man. He's going crazy. Even with it, and we noticed when they started cracking down on the checks, right? They started checking pitchers after the innings. He just kept plugging away, didn't matter. So, crazy things going on there.
Yeah, that's a tough division. Atlanta, Philly, the Mets, it's going to be a tight race. I mean, the Mets are only 4 out. Philly is 2.5 out right now. So, I don't know. I think that's going to be a fun division to watch. None of them are, you know, primo pitching. None of them have the great bats that you really want to see. I guess Atlanta does pretty well, but that'll be definitely a tough division.
So just real quick, DeGrom, his elbow is perfectly intact and everything's good, but just remains uncertain on time of him being activated and coming back. He hasn't pitched since July 7th. 7-2 with a 1.08 ERA, 146 strikeouts. So definitely missing a key piece here.
It's a big deal.
That being said, what about, have you heard anything about Syndergaard? I did see COVID-19 was the last one that he was kind of dealing. So what I'm trying to build on is, obviously I already stated the pitching is a huge deal. I think we can all agree I bet you we can all agree on this one that that's probably the best 1-2 punch in Major League Baseball on the same team when they're healthy and clicking.
I am really amazed one of the two has not got traded yet. So
Yeah.
how the Mets have been kind of out of it, not in a race these past several years, and for either of them boys to get traded, that is insane to me. But they're probably asking for the bank, right? So
absolutely. I mean, I was hoping and praying. A couple years ago, the Twins had everything you needed except for starting pitching, and we were rolling top of the division. I'm like, just get this pitcher. We just need that one ace, like that one shutdown guy, because Kenta Maeda and these guys those are nice pieces. Those are nice 2, 3, 4 pitchers.
right, but you don't want to measure ace.
Yeah, you need that guy. And I was like, God, because you remember they were floating around. I'm like, grab this man.
Right.
Just grab him. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Reach out there, swing for the fences. If it doesn't work, you'll get most of your assets back when you try to trade them again.
Right. Yeah, I think it's key to have one guy who can go 8 innings or a whole game and give your bullpen a night off. That is big time, I believe, in MLB baseball.
No.
And those two guys are guys that can do it on the same team.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on the East there, Jimmer?
I do. Once I find my sheet, because you have like 7 of these things in here. So that's what I'm trying to scramble through. Where's your new one at? It's called episode? Which one?
6.
There we go.
Yeah, I guess the one thing to call out about Atlanta, I have no idea how to say his name, but the Atlanta starting pitcher, Wasar Inoa.
Okay.
I don't know if I said that right, but in his last 3 starts since his return, he's got less than a 2.6 ERA. So that's going to be a big deal. And he's had an extended absence, so you don't got to worry about, being tired and things like that in the playoffs. So that could be pretty big for them as well. But, man, again, just a tough division there. I think, I don't know. Rio, if you were to pick, though, who do you think wins that division?
Yeah, we didn't get there.
I don't know. It's going to be crazy. I see Atlanta coming out with this. I did put a bet on them to win that division early in the year. So I do think they stay with it and take it. I think the Mets are out of it. They got a shot, but I think they're out of it right now. So
Yeah, agreed.
Giving them false hope is what they're leading at. So this isn't lining up right the same way I put this in. So we're going to try to wing it, I guess. So if I had to take a pick here, it's going to be, Philadelphia could make a comeback, but I like the Braves. I like the Braves because they've lost players. They lost boys early on, and all they've done is just keep plugging away. It's not sexy, 73 and 64, but they lost Ronald Acuna Jr. like right at the beginning of the year, right? Pretty damn early into the season. And
hold on, did you jump to the AL on me?
I know.
Oh,
I know.
hold on. Okay. Oh, I thought you said all right.
Braves.
Oh, I thought you said Rays. Sorry, I was like, whoa. Hold on. All right, we're good.
It rhymes.
I appreciate you.
We're close.
Rays. Is there a V in there?
There's an A.
Yeah.
There's an A.
There's an A.
and an S.
There's an A. Rays.
Braves. So I think ultimately they end up pulling it off. Technically on here it says that they have a 76% chance versus only 31% chance from Philly, 9% from the Mets. The Mets kind of pissed us away. And yes, injury started nipping them. I thought they were going to go on a roll when they traded for Baez and
Yeah, that's a big time. They were active.
Yeah,
at the
they
trade
were,
deadline.
and they had. And it seemed like they had the bats going, and they have, like I said, and they were hoping they were gonna get their pitchers back and start rolling. I still think it's the Braves, and that's kind of where I'm sitting on that one.
Yeah, with that second NL wild card up for grabs, you got Padres, Reds, Cardinals, but man, Padres, I had a bet on them winning 90 games. But man, they played under 500 in the second half. Diamondbacks and Rockies, they went 19-19 against them. I saw them as a much better ball club than that.
I don't know what the hell happened.
So
And their
Just
schedule
like, what
doesn't
the hell
get
happened
easier
to them?
either.
I don't
Yeah.
know, man. They pretty much what you're saying. They seemed like they had everything all together, and then just kind of fell apart after and going into the second half.
The rest of the season, they basically play above 500 teams too, so it's not going to get easier. I don't know if they make sense for that next wild card spot, but then again,
Yeah,
the
so
field is pretty similar.
let's see. So a couple games against the Angels, but road trip against the Dodgers, Giants, and Cardinals, and then end with the Giants and the Braves. In LA and San Fran. Yeah, it's just tough, and I don't think they get it. If they get beat up here, it might not look good for them.
I have so interesting thing. If the Braves do go, I do have on here it says they have a 9% chance of winning the World Series. Anyone that's a Braves fan that's listening right now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that that's practically 0, because that 9 is wrong. You're not coming out. We already touched on the Giants and the Dodgers. There's you have no shot. I mean, it'd be nice though. I mean, it always feels good to make the playoffs. I mean, you technically, whatever I've told Chris many times, you can't win the Super Bowl, you can't win the World Series, you can't win the championship unless you're playing for it, unless you're in the playoffs. So I think that's just I think that's more of a what they're gonna end up being a filler. And it doesn't matter. I shouldn't be that
Right,
mean,
just
but
a team in the that fills out the bracket, right?
yeah, I think the better shot is definitely, like, if you want to put them in the same category, the Brewers. The Brewers have a little better shot, but they've been consistently good all season too. So
Yep.
the one that I wanted to, well, I guess we can lightly touch on the White Sox. Or what are they? Have they won the division yet? Should be. Or what are they, like 15 games or 20?
Yeah, they're 11 games right now up.
Yeah. That'll be in the bag. And then the Astros, Mariners are a nice story. I honestly didn't expect them to be anything this year.
Yeah, that's kind of weird to see them up there. I don't think we saw that either.
No.
If anything, we were hoping the Angels put it all together this year, and they still didn't. Another year. Seattle has an outside shot, but I don't think they catch up.
The Angels are going to do to my man Shotani the same thing they did
to Trout,
to Mike Trout. They're going to waste
his talent, and not
his
surround
talent
him.
and the best years of their career, and they're going to stay loyal. Mike Trout stayed loyal.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Shoot,
wouldn't you stay loyal if they're paying you that much?
all those other teams in baseball would have paid him that. Tell me not another team would have given him the exact same contract.
No, because Texas doesn't pay good players.
So maybe not Texas. Twins do at the end of their career.
Yeah.
Or like for a catcher. That's kind of what they do. But I'm talking about like the major market teams would have paid this man. He would have got the same contract. Maybe even more. I think I heard he turned one. I had heard at the time that he had turned down one that was a little higher to stay with the Angels. So, but unfortunately, they're just they usually have all the bigger talent guys that just that are kind of like stars, and they don't ever take care of them, never surround them, never do the right thing there. But the Astros are too good. All the rest of those, I mean, the A's are always right there, but you've seen the movie Moneyball. They're just like Tampa Bay. They're going to be competitive. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a nice, feel-goodish story. And then when it comes down to it, for a champion, for the most part, you have to have money. You have to have the talent in it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be that one dude that is worth that $20 million up at the plate versus the pitcher you're paying a whopping $2 million because you got him off a budget and he leaves a high breaking ball and that dude parks it for the win. It's like
Right.
So I think the Astros are going to be. I think they're I think they'll be competitive, but I hate the Yankees. But everyone up in there, I think the AL pennant will come out of the East, one version wear form. So that's what I'm leading into right here is the AL East.
Right. Yeah, that race is definitely interesting there with Boston only right there, even or right, and Blue Jays within 2 games, Mariners within 2.5. That's definitely going to be coming down to the wire for the wild card spot. Tampa Bay, man, are they the favorite out here in the AL? For me, I think they are. I think the White Sox are a good story. They've had a great year.
Yep.
I think the Rays will put it together because the Rays, they've been all right. They've closed August 13 wins in 14 games. Maybe not as hot as they have been last year. They do lead in runs scored. Nelson Cruz, we talked about him, ranks 40 in the majors in OPS. Brandon Lowe, 43rd, and Randy Rosarina at 50th. And it's crazy considering they're 9th in the AL in batting average and 6th in on-base percentage, 4th in slugging. So
they're a pretty damn good defensive team.
Yeah.
And maybe that Nelson Cruz is the one where it kind of pushes it over the edge. I was just talking about that, obviously, with that big $20 million bat. And his isn't that. It's like 14 or whatever. But you know what I'm saying, that $20 million bat up there. And then maybe he does help turn that because they went at the deadline to go grab somebody.
They do lead the AL in home runs with the runners on. So
they play the game right. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
So them, Oakland, they do it right. It's just at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be pretty difficult to. It's a nice story. They're gonna put up 105 wins somewhere in that ballpark when the season's done here. But I don't know if they have enough to take out the Yankees if the Yankees do make it.
I tell you, the Yankees, so they have
the starting pitching.
They're interesting. They do have some starting pitching. They have the closer. Man, one heck of a deadly lineup. Now, if they are clicking, they got real busy and active at the trade deadline, and potentially one of the best starting batting lineups you'll see in baseball. Real interesting to see if they can make that push, stay in the playoff race and stay in. Because I think if they do and they make it in, man, they will be one of the deadliest teams in the playoffs. They always are, usually.
Now that you picked them, to hell with that. Fuck that.
No,
I already hated the Yankees
I
anyway,
still think
so.
it's Tampa Bay's. But Yankees will be dangerous if they get there.
Yeah, they're just so inconsistent. I mean, it's like they look great, and then they struggle against a team like the Orioles, who is wonderful, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're consistent enough. If they could put it together, I mean, all you got to do is tear through the playoffs. If you could get hot, then, yeah, they definitely could be dangerous. Tampa Bay is probably the team to beat. Houston's right up there. They don't hit the dingers like Tampa, but they've got good bats, good pitching. Both teams have really good pitching.
They also don't have the trash can in the dugout either, so that helps with keeping the dingers down. Yeah. We just go ahead and go back a little bit. Maybe a cowbell sound.
Definitely.
721 runs scored, so maybe they got something else going on over there.
Well, actually, we're sitting here hyping up the Yankees lineup, and I'm actually looking at this right. Runs scored for the Yankees 595.
It's horrible.
That is over 100 plus less than the Sox and 160 less roughly from the Rays. So I do think it's a tale of two seasons or two halves of a season because I do believe they've been rolling as of recently on the offensive side. I'm not talking about the win-loss, but the offensive side. Giancarlo seems like he's been parking it a little bit. Big boy Aaron Judge is hitting right around 300, which surprised me. I looked at it the other day. I was like, because you're used to seeing around that 250 and a million strikeouts, but then also have like 40 home runs, 45 home runs. But I seen I do believe he's batting like right around 395 or somewhere in that 391, or sorry, not 291, 295, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, that's the thing though. They're gonna walk out a decent starting pitching. Garrett Cole, Luz Gill,
yep.
Corey Kluber, Jordan Montgomery, James Talion. Yeah. So they're gonna walk out some good pieces there, and on the mound there to start their games. And then of course Chad Green, Heaney, which he'll be a starter potentially.
I think they're just. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they're missing a leader. Maybe they can go hit up old boy that just went into the hall today and see if he can come back. the captain.
Just give him a run in the playoffs.
Right, just like, hey,
Let's
let me
go.
let me go ahead and settle the boat for you. 'Cause that's one thing I had to appreciate about Derek Jeter. Throughout his career, is like it never seemed like looking at the guy. Always calm and collected. Did it ever seem like the moment was too big for that guy? Like just looking at him, like he stepped up to play defense. There was nothing. I don't even think the dude sweat. I'm pretty sure he doesn't sweat. He
Might need to see a doctor.
He might not even poop.
He might not.
Well, Danny's got that covered for him.
Yeah.
He's got.
I bring that average up.
Yeah, I was say he'll crank that average up for him.
Danny's 7 poops a day.
What damn movie was that? But Kim Jong-un.
Oh yeah, the dictator or something like that. The interview.
The interview.
Yes.
Where they say he doesn't poop.
Yep. Yeah.
No, I think we're on the same page with this. I think it's Tampa and Houston. I like to pull interesting stats, so I pulled one on the Astros. So from 62 to 2016, the Astros only won 100 games one time. They're about to do it 4 times in a row this year. That's pretty cool to see an organization turn it around like that. So
Yeah, and most of it was trash can, but this time I gotta give him a little bit. I was pissed with him. I think they got away with murder too. On top of it, I don't think they got punished enough.
I think they did. I think you are correct. They got away with murder on that, and they did not thump them.
Yeah,
like they should have.
What they lose? A first-round pick, second-round pick, or some shit like that. First-round pick or whatever, and then like $5 million fine. And I'm like, well, how in the hell is that? Are you even in the conversation of taking their goddamn World Series away? There's so many there's so many teams that got screwed out of that, and you're not even gonna have the conversation about. Do they take gold medals away? Yeah. Did they take Reggie Bush's Heisman away?
they did.
Oh, weird.
Should have went to Vince Young anyways, but
Whoa. Slow down.
He didn't even want it though. He said no. He won it willing. He said he won it.
right. Well, yeah, they offered
Yep.
it to him. It
Yeah, and
sounded
he's
like,
like, no,
and he
that
was
was
like,
his.
I don't.
He's like,
I don't
that was
want it.
his. He won it. But I do believe they take national championship. They take the national championships away too. In college football, or like they'll take they'll dictate your wins. Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
So same thing as like losing. You're gonna sit there and get. It still frustrates me that it was a slap on the hand.
Yeah.
Not even a slap.
I do agree with that and taking some stuff away. They didn't take it, but man, they have nailed their draft picks.
Yeah.
Lance McCullers. You're looking at a lot of their position players: Altuve, Bregman, Correa, Brantley. These guys, Kyle Tucker, Alvarez. They've nailed their draft picks consecutively, and so that helped them too. I totally agree. They didn't get chomped enough for the cheating.
Did they nail the draft pick on the little guy you were just speaking of?
Correa,
Huh? No, the little guy. You just said his name. The other star player they have,
Altuve.
Remember he couldn't take his shirt off.
Oh well, yeah.
I mean,
Still
did they
stud.
really nail it, or did they just have like a tapper on the side of him, a little buzz that lets him know when a fastball is coming?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But
yeah,
maybe,
no,
but I feel
I-
they just nailed their drafts everywhere, and
I think they've, especially
built a good
this,
team.
especially this year, unless they have something like a microchip in them that lets them know when the fastball's coming and a breaking ball. Unless they have that, this is probably the most impressive season that they have had.
too bad you didn't have that when I was pitching to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have hurt yourself. You could have caught it, huh?
I did. I did get it. I just
2 feet from the plate is not getting it.
hold on. You said I couldn't catch your fastball. I caught it.
Not for a hit.
It was 2 feet in front of the plate.
I
You
caught
just
it.
said it.
I caught it.
You couldn't. You
2
you
feet
didn't go
from the
2
plate.
feet. You didn't catch it 2 feet from the plate. I went down with what the hell was it? Tear? I can't remember.
Because you couldn't catch up to my heat,
That
man.
was not because of it.
All right.
Jesus.
Well,
I
you
found-
know what?
I found out real quick
We'll
when you
get our
get old,
YouTube fired
You
up
should
and
stretch.
what's that? Stretching.
Yeah. What is that?
We'll get our YouTube page fired up, and I'll go pitch a Jimmer and make him hurt himself again.
Shit.
Well,
I'll put that bitch yard.
just
Exactly what you said last time. That's crazy.
Oh, I will. Which one of us in this room has hit a home run? And
Yeah, it wasn't me pitching.
No, you were the You were the dude using it with that.
I'm
They were
talking
using the home run derby.
You know what I'm talking about? Overhand.
How many home runs did you give up on average in
Right.
softball play?
Underhand, slow pitch. Yeah.
Semi-fast. Calm down.
Semi-fast pitch.
So as fast as you could throw underhand.
We didn't pitch semi-fast.
How many dingers did you average giving up as a
I
pitcher?
had probably a solid 32 ERA, but
Right.
but
I know, but how many dingers did you give up?
I stopped counting after like 22. I was like, all right.
Hey, shout out to anybody in the home run derby next year. If you need a pitcher.
If you need someone, hit me up. Except for Jimmer, because I can strike him out with pitching overhand.
Shit. He still didn't strike me out.
All right. I can make him not hit it very far.
Well, so somehow this is tragically diverted, but we were talking about Houston. I do think they're a team to look out for in the playoffs. They lead the league in the fewest errors. They're just solid in fielding. They're one of the better teams with ERA. I mean, it's only 3.7 for their team overall. And even their batting average is almost 270 as a team. So they're just overall one of the better teams in the league. They don't have the studs like the Dodgers do, things like that. They don't hit the home runs like Tampa, but they're just a solid team. So I just wanted to make sure we hit that. But
definitely, their starting pitching is going to look just fine. Luis Garcia, Lance McCullers, obviously Jake. He's going to be good. They got a few question marks there too, but yeah, I think they are definitely another team to look out for. Like I said, I like the Rays, and then Yankees can do the Yankees. What Yankees do in the playoffs, man. They get there. They got the potential to blow through that side.
So the one division we really haven't touched on too much, and I don't know if you guys just don't care about them or what, but we missed out on the National League Central.
I touched on the Brewers.
Okay, you touched on them. I don't know if you gave them enough credit, man.
Probably not. I don't know. I think it was a really weird year. Thinking the Cubs maybe still had something left in them. The Cardinals were showing a little spark before the All-Star break, and then I don't know.
Yeah, the Cubs went fire sale.
Yeah, they went
So.
and they did.
Yeah.
They got rid of. They kind of cleaned house, and it started with that GM that they let walk a few years ago. That was the Red Sox. Name is escaping me right now, but Ted, whatever the fuck it was. He was. As soon as that went, they started trying to, just hasn't been the same. So, I thought maybe one little thing, and I guess I don't take the Brewers that serious. I mean, I'm not saying they're a bad team. That isn't what I'm saying. I think they're gonna be a first round exit. So
They might win 100 games. They've got one of the best ERAs in the league, so 3.34. So I think that's like number 3 in the league. They've got really solid pitching. They don't score the runs. That's my concern, right? So they're at 645 compared to somebody like even San Francisco, 670. Dodgers are over 700, right? So is Tampa.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to wrap my mind around them when. Well, that division is not very good. First off, so though a lot of those wins, you start piling up. It's kind of like looking at the White Sox.
Yeah, I think we don't give their starting pitching enough credit. 529 runs allowed. That's pretty darn good. So,
also against that division, that couldn't.
Yep.
I think the Cubs actually. Were they batting like right around 200 or under as a team for most of the first half of the season?
Yeah, it was
so
terrible.
When you're facing teams like that, of course, I'm not trying to disrespect their pitching staff. All I'm saying is, when that's what you're facing, and you're any of the Pirates in yours, it'll be kind of juice numbers. I am disrespecting them. It's clearly saying it like that. So ultimately, we have, this playoff predictor that was on Fangraphs does have the Dodgers and the Rays as the top seeds. I don't disagree with that. You guys are more bullish on the Giants probably holding on to their current division.
Yeah, just for the sake of division standings, I think so.
Wild cards they have as Giants, Red Sox, Reds, Yankees. Not really seeing a problem with any one of those.
Hey, speaking of the Reds, Mr. Ageless Wonder. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Wade Miley, 34 years old, 11-4 with a 2.7 ERA. That's bonkers as a pitcher, man.
Yeah, especially
Definitely.
at that old man age. I think that's about how old I am. So
We're past old man age for sports, bro.
yeah.
Say, I don't see you throwing 80 pitches a game.
Right. I don't see my company investing in
Oh yeah,
personal trainers
absolutely.
and stuff for all of us either. So
It's true.
I think they are thinking about getting Monster as an official sponsor though, so that they can keep us awake, so we can stay working longer. Division winners is the Brewers, Astros, Braves, and White Sox. Kind of rounds out what the predictor was, and those are pretty. I think all four of those are pretty clear cut, anyways. We already touched on that part, so.
Now, what was the site you're using for that, Jimmer, just so people can check it out if they want to?
Was it fangraphs.com?
Fangraphs.com. Okay.
Yep. You can break it down. It shows all kinds of shows like the one I found. One of the things that it shows on here that I found interesting was the 90% confidence rating of each record, win-loss, and it gives you a best and worst case scenario for the remaining games. For instance, best case scenario as of when I put this on here, the Braves had 72-64. So their best case scenario was 90-71. Their worst case was 82-79. I just thought it was kind of cool just to even see that. So anyone that's big into that stuff, big into the stats, like we like to look at that stuff. It's a neat ass site.
Agreed. All right.
So,
I think. Go ahead, Jimmer. Go ahead.
I was just gonna let you guys know. I was looking at
That the Twins were picked to win the World Series and are where? Is that what you're gonna let us know?
I do believe they were still above the Rangers.
Rangers are bad. However, I knew they were gonna be bad. I wasn't saying we're going World Series.
You're not necessarily wrong. We had a lot of injuries.
I'm not wrong at all.
Well,
Not even misinformed on this one either.
you usually are, but
What Rio doesn't understand is the teams we tend to root for tend to do what?
let us down.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Joke.
Except,
Slow
calm down first.
Slow
Gotcha.
down.
Like we stated, I think earlier, the Twins at least have a couple World Series titles. You guys have one?
Rangers do not, man. But my backup team, the Yankees,
Oh, Jesus.
certainly do, baby.
Okay, Greg Johnson.
No, Rangers broke my heart back in, I think it was 11 and 12 or maybe 10 and 11. Right there, back-to-back, couldn't finish the deal. So that was tough. And then we've just been bottom feeders ever since. Turning it around, though. I see our farm system jumped several points in the rankings, from some of the trades we made and whatnot. So hopefully in the next couple of years we can push for a playoff spot.
Or just fill in some baseball games for other teams to compete.
Yeah, whatever. Like we've been doing. We've been doing that. I look at the end of schedule here real quick. The Giants going to be pretty tough. They do get Chicago, but then they got series versus San Diego, Atlanta, San Diego. They kind of get a rest with Colorado and Arizona, but then another one with San Diego. Tough there. We look at the Dodgers. They get San Diego, then Arizona, Cincinnati, who's pushing for a spot, right? Then they get Colorado and Arizona. But then they go San Diego, Milwaukee. So it's going to be real close coming down here to the end, I believe. There's some tough series that both teams have.
Out of all this chat, the one I was going into this episode that I was going to make a point of talking about is the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are 9-1 in their last 10.
What?
And I'm just saying, I don't see it out of the realm of possibility of them just kind of, maybe they could eke one in here. If they continue on their hot streak, I do believe. So I have some notes taken down. I think it was the Red Sox here. I think they're the ones that have like kind of a little bit tougher schedule. Now, all these teams, Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays, they all play each other at least one 3-game series.
Right, so just being 2 games back, they definitely got a shot.
Right. I mean, everything's going to come down to the I do believe they're playing their games back up in Toronto now, so they have their actual fan base.
And
You have Vlad Guerrero Jr. I was a huge fan of his dad. I mean, a dude that he's tried. I remember watching a game where they were trying to intentionally walk Vlad Guerrero, and they pitch it outside, and he steps over the plate and smacks the ball deep into the field.
Yeah, he come play for the Rangers for a little bit.
he's a stud. That's what I was just going to say. They've got some bats, man. They've damn near hit 700 runs, and there's only a handful of teams that have to this point. They've got solid pitching, too. So you're right. They could make a run. You said they're 9-1 in their last 10.
9-1 in the last 10.
Okay.
They technically still have a 36% chance of making the playoffs. I think they have a shot of beating out Boston.
Yeah, you see their schedule lineup here. You know, they get to play Baltimore in 2 series, Minnesota in 2 series.
Yep.
So they can definitely. I like that.
I
I
could see
like
them
that
kinda
making a
sneaking
push.
in.
They do have two series with Tampa and a New York one in there as well, and they're in New York right now. So that'll be tough. But with Baltimore twice, the Twins twice, and those are looks like 4 games there, 3 games there, and another 4 and 3. So, yeah, they can definitely, especially they end on Baltimore. If it's coming down close, that's a great way to end it, you know, if you're within a game or so.
This division is going to get tight and ugly, even tighter than what it is right now. I have the Yankees have 3 games each against Baltimore, Cleveland, and Texas. Now, Cleveland technically is above 500, but let's keep it real. They're not on the same level this year.
Yeah.
They have one. It must be a makeup game. They have 1 game against the Twins. This is the Yankees still. But they do have a 6-game stretch, and I think this is where it's going to get pivotal. It's going to get pivotal for both. A 6-game series against Blue Jays. 2 3-game series is what I should say.
Yeah.
And then 3 games against Boston. But they have 12 current in the playoff teams that they're going to be facing / contenders. People are kind of flirting with it left. So that one's kind of, outside of the Baltimore, Cleveland, Texas, and the 1 game against the Twins, the Yankees gets a little tough here. And we already seen that they're not putting up the same offenses that we're accustomed to seeing. Red Sox, 12 games against playoff teams / contenders. Same thing. They have 11 games, though, against non-playoff, including 6 against Baltimore and 3 against the Nationals. They do have 2 games against the Mets in there, which we just said the Mets are kind of on fire right now, or playing a hell of a lot better. So that may be a little tougher. But the Red Sox, as of yesterday, they're on a 2-game losing streak. And is that even up to? Oh, actually, 3-game losing streak. I take that back. As of right now, a 3-game losing streak. Yankees are on a 4-game. The Blue Jays are on a 6-game winning streak. So I think this is going to get uglier in there. And the more I think about it, I think I'm gonna pick the Blue Jays to make it. I think they're just the hotter team right now. I'm gonna retract. I think if I were to replace one of them, it'd be the Red Sox. You look at their pitching. I'm not that impressed with it. Chris Sale, of course, is a stud, but outside of that,
yeah, Yankees, man, they have it tough here, coming down. I mean, you end with Tampa Bay, before that Toronto and Boston. Like, you get no rest. Boom, boom, boom. And so if it's coming down, everything's close, and you're needing wins. There's no guarantees there, you know.
Yeah, yep.
So we've seen this a lot in baseball. Teams get hot, and they just keep rolling. Is Toronto a dark horse to win the World Series?
They have the star power. I don't think they're on the same level as the Rays, though. So even because the Rays are still hot too, so it isn't like, I mean, yes, the Blue Jays are the flashier one as of right now. I mean, it looks like they're a little hotter, but Tampa Bay just keeps doing their work, and they've been doing their work.
Yep.
So I think it'd be real hard. I think could they almost roll through, or not roll through, but get on a hot streak to where they beat everybody else going in and then go into the ALCS against Tampa Bay? Depending on which way this all breaks out for bracketing and all that. But, yeah, I could see that. But I think it's going to be pretty hard to unseat the Rays. The White Sox are pretty goddamn hot, and they have pitching too. So they have
I think
and
they're
a
going to
potential
just
MVP, isn't that?
I think they're just going to be on the outside looking in. They can sneak in, but I just don't see. I see everybody else being just a little bit better than them. If it's Rays, Yankees, White Sox, I think they're just kind of outside of those three teams right now at the moment. Of course, we've seen it happen. Teams can get hot and get rolling. But that's how I feel it's going to play out here.
Yeah, you guys like Houston to make it to World Series against the Dodgers. Or you guys like Tampa, sorry.
Don't ever bring Houston up in this conversation.
I'm going to
again.
say Houston makes it to the World Series this year,
No.
Jimmer.
If they make it, I got to root for them, but I'm not a big fan of the Astros myself.
That means you don't have to root for them.
I will if they make it.
You literally do not have to.
I will, just because they're a Texas team. I will root for them if they make it.
That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, I root for Iowa State, even though they're not playing Iowa.
We're a much smaller state than the state of Texas. So, yeah, when we
Texas is a country.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah, hold on. Let's go ahead, and we'll roll into one of our last segments. Makes sense if you don't think about it.
Okay.
Hold on. We have to close on that. I'm going to stop you right there. We have to close on that.
We can close right now. We need to get to this.
We have one thing we have to talk about that's very important.
All right, let's talk about it.
My fantasy team being every man's wet dream.
No, but you're on the right path.
Oh.
We have a game tomorrow night.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happens tomorrow night? There's going to be a lot of gagging, a lot of a certain team
Tom
just
Brady's
getting whooped up.
Tom Brady's going to, do that to the refs.
Well, I will not disagree with you on that. That will happen, but that doesn't mean that they're still not going to throttle the Cowboys.
I don't think throttle. I think they do. I think Tampa does win.
14?
Yeah, what's a throttle to you? Let's go ahead and set the precedence right now.
It'll be a close game within 10.
Within 10?
I think it'll be within 10. I think kind of we talked about week 1 of college, kind of week 1 of NFL.
Yeah, except for it's going to be 21-point difference at least.
Get rolling.
3 touchdowns.
I don't think so. I think it'll be a lower scoring game. And, I actually do. I think the defenses will play well, and it'll take a little bit for the offenses to get going.
I just don't see that. Now, maybe when you mean by low, Tampa Bay keeping your team down to like 7 points or something like that. Absolutely, Tampa Bay's defense is way better, but was over under. It was like, I think it was right around 50. Yeah, there's going to be points up in this game. There's no doubt there. Even with Tampa Bay's defense and your lack of no defense, there's still going to be points. You guys are going to lose this game 35-14.
All right.
Okay.
35-14.
I hope we smack them down, and then I can
just
clip this and then send it to Jimmer every hour.
Yeah, you can grab it out anytime. We'll go ahead and yank this out. I'm just telling you, give or take 3 points either which way. But what I mean by give or take, I mean 38-17. It's still going to be 21 points regardless. This is going to be 3 touchdowns. They may be able to sit Brady in the 4th.
Ooh,
I hope so. He is my fantasy quarterback.
You hope so.
You hope
you
they
hope
sit him?
not.
I hope he runs the score up so he can.
So he can sit and
still
just
drop.
Nah, you can just hand it off to Fournette, who I'll go ahead and start, and then he runs in 4 touchdowns, and then.
At least you're smart starting him against that Dallas D. So
yeah, you couldn't go wrong there.
The one thing I'm worried about is that team they don't all have the same pedigree as Brady, so I could see a Super Bowl hangover. I think they still win. I don't see a question with that, but I could see him starting a little slow and maybe only winning by 14.
Only 14?
But I still have Tampa beating up the
Like
Cowboys
I said,
tomorrow.
I think they do pull it out as well. I think it's going to be a close game.
Pull it out seems like it'd be close. That's not going to be.
Pull it out is
all
the
right.
correct.
We just had to make sure we touched on that. Tomorrow's one of the biggest days of the year. The NFL coming back.
Yes.
So I apologize for interrupting, but now.
No, we needed that, especially Can't wait. Can't wait. I mean, we get our fantasy back. We get our football back.
Yeah.
Fans in the stands. I do believe in
Yeah.
every stadium on some version of capacity, if not more.
Even if you got to have that jab.
You just need something out there. This pumped in sound with nobody in there or some cardboard cutouts just wasn't quite hitting it. I appreciate us getting some versions of seasons of everything last year, but at the end of the day, you get fans in that. You do realize there are second-year players that have not played in front of an NFL fan base.
Yeah.
And
Crazy to think about.
It is. I mean, what over
Experience.
over 80+% of these teams or more have huge, big followings in their fans. So what you hear there versus where you may go on the road in some college game, and I'm not saying college doesn't get jacked or anything like that. I mean, you'll have some.
Yeah, they're going crazy out in Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Last week.
But what they're about to witness, especially like up in Minnesota, and you get those fans the sound raining down on you. One of the best stadiums in the country, maybe in the world, maybe in the world. If you
Too bad they don't have a Super Bowl banner to hang up in there, huh?
No, they will.
Or
they will after
or
this year.
trophy.
They will after this year.
Oh, okay.
After the MVP leads us to the Super Bowl,
I've
Jim?
heard that many times.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
That being said, another quick hitter, big time for us Iowa guys. Iowa State this weekend, number 9 versus number 10.
Yeah,
game day
Big for the state of Iowa there.
It is.
Big.
Game day in Iowa State. I don't know if anyone's ever heard, was that Visha?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to
If it heard, seen, all crazy shit,
Yep.
it's going to maybe it's going to get crazy either way. If Iowa pulls off the upset in this, it could turn from crazy to violent actually down there, but
Is it really an upset?
9-10 technically, and then I do believe Iowa State was the dark horse to go to the college football playoff. So yes, I would consider that
Right, but
they are always the little brother of Iowa. Yeah,
I was
if
going
you're
to say,
talking
how
about
many times? They haven't won in years, though,
No,
so
they
is it
haven't.
really an upset?
this year? They have everything for this
Maybe.
year. I don't know why you wouldn't.
You
But-
know, I think it's interesting. I know y'all are Iowa guys. Be interesting to see how it plays out. I hope to see more from that Iowa offense. So I could see Iowa State still taking it. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, but be interesting to see.
Deuce Hogan, start him.
Better, yeah.
It's Deuce's
That offense
time
did
to
not
shine.
look great with the quarterback play Iowa
Spencer
had.
Petras, that was
That
horrendous.
was tough. So, but your defense looked good. Defense looked really good. Iowa State struggled a little bit. Defense still looked okay against UNI. So I think it'll be a good defensive battle. Just
Yeah.
who's going to lead the team? You know, is it going to be what's his name for Iowa State? Bryce.
Brock.
Brock,
Oh, no.
Brock Purdy. Yes,
Brock
sorry.
Purdy, and then
Brock Purdy
Yep.
and then Petras. So, yeah, definitely interesting game. That'll be a close one. Keep an eye on top 10 matchup.
Yeah, this could be a 12-10 game. Like this is. I think it's gonna be low scoring. The
Oh, yeah.
defenses
Yeah,
are gonna carry
both
it.
defenses are pretty damn good. The difference is going to be clearly the best running back in the nation, Tyler Goodson, carrying this. So
I don't remember him getting
Let's go.
honors
Tyler.
this week, but I know a boy of B. John Robinson.
I'm going to tell
He
you,
did.
it's really hard to do when on the same team you have a guy return 2 interceptions for touchdowns. So go ahead and unseat him but it's fine. 99 yards and a touchdown. And
Well, he
probably
didn't even get brought
120
up.
all-purposes.
Goodson didn't even get brought in for offensive player of anything.
I
Didn't see him show up.
They didn't have to play him in the fourth. So
Sorry, this isn't a
That's
Texas
true.
conversation. Anyhow.
right.
So, yeah, that's right. We're talking about Iowa. So, yeah, definitely top 10 matchup. Going to be real interesting. Danny and Jimmer can both go ahead and fuck off.
Do you have who does Texas have this week?
We actually pretty good matchup. Arkansas.
There you
So
go.
that'll be another
Okay.
tough game. I was saying our non-conference schedule is looking pretty tough there. So
About to be conference schedule with Arkansas in there, right?
So yeah, about to be in
Few years.
several years
Yeah.
right.
here. I think we'll do okay. Again, that we really played well, much better than I expected, especially how much they were returning. The Cajuns were returning. So to see us come out and play as well as we did, started a little slow, but freshman quarterback coming in, trying not quite on the same page with some of his receivers. So but defensively, I think we played much better than we did last year. So
Yeah, you
hopefully we
definitely
can keep
have
it
a
rolling.
stud. You have a stud running back. It'll be good to see you play a real team and see how things go.
Right. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. They play in the Big 12. So you guys needed a harder non-conference schedule because that conference is dog shit.
Arkansas is automatically qualified as a decent team just because of the conference they're in. I think they're pretty solid.
Oh, okay.
Which shouldn't be the case. We
Just
had
putting
this
it out there.
we had this conversation the
Mhm.
other day. Top heavy, very
Yeah.
top heavy. The SEC gets way too much love. If you go beyond the top 3 teams, because we were talking about that the other day, which ones are the top ones, you know? And outside of that, all those other teams they're hiding behind the SEC label, so everyone has this thought process. Every other conference in this nation can compete with them on that level. You know, those mid-tier teams.
Middle of the pack for sure.
Yes.
All right, so to close it out, Jimmer, give us the old "it makes sense if you don't think about it."
Boom.
So we're going to go ahead. And I had a guy tell me that a guy from Texas who said he believed that the state of Texas could beat Mexico in a war today, in today's day, because they already did it once. We already whooped that ass once. Now I was like, oh, you mean with the United States because you guys are part of the United States? He's like, no, we don't even need them. I'm like, so you're telling me we can go ahead and pull the whole military out of there, and it would just be literally Texas versus a country. Yep, absolutely. I'm like, a country. Like, no, like, we're not going to back you. The United States is not going to back you, and it is going to be 100% Texas versus Mexico. And you think you have a shot? Yeah, why not? We whooped that ass once.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did they? What was that reference to? Whoop that ass once.
Well, you said it was. Yeah, I'll say you. We're going with the cat is out of the bag now.
Oh, it was real.
Cat
Oh
out
my
of the
God.
bag.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Whoa.
are you shocked by this? Really?
What?
Wasn't it over the Alamo, and you guys technically lost the Alamo?
But did we though?
But if you go
I
back,
mean-
if you literally go back into the history book,
mean-
yes.
I don't know. That's not how they taught it in Texas. So.
Oh, of course they wouldn't. I'm pretty sure down south they still think the South won over the North. I'm sure that's what they teach them.
Whoa. Easy.
I mean, okay. I'll let you finish your story and then I'll.
No, that's basically it. And he was adamant. We went at it. Where our good friend Luke Rising, I think, has lost sleep over this argument because
I hope he has, honestly.
It
though.
doesn't see what bugs him the most isn't what he said. It's that when Rio was telling this shit, and you actually look Rio in the eyes, what bugs him is it looks like he actually believes that horse shit. And that's what bugs Luke. It looks like it. He's like, you're shitting me. You got to be fucking around. He's like, no, I'm being dead serious. And he looked serious about it. I'm like, just, you know what? Makes sense if you don't think about it. But go ahead.
I like that it gets you guys all riled up.
Now we're backpedaling.
No, not at all. I'm just saying I like
Hold on.
that I can see it getting you guys riled up.
Oh,
Well, as in
absolutely.
Luke Rising and
But-
yourself.
Go ahead and tell the listeners. Do you believe that Texas?
All right, time to wrap it up. Let's go. It makes sense if you don't think about it.
Oh, now we want to do it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Give us a like and follow on Facebook, all the socials. We've got semi videos out on YouTube as well, at least with the audio, in our beautiful 3 gig logo. So make sure you give those a listen. Follow the page, things like that too.
Be getting around the corner to getting some actual video up there on YouTube too, which will be big. And here, I do believe coming soon, we have a little surprise where I think we have our own intro coming that was specially made for us by a local guy. So,
Boom.
yeah. So, like
Beautiful.
we started getting a little more interaction on there on social media, on Facebook, and conversation. So go ahead and hit us up.
Definitely do it. Rio, closing thoughts.
Yeah, just keep your eye on this MLB baseball race. It's getting hot. It's getting heavy, and every game counts. So keep an eye on it. If you got some predictions, reach out Tell us who you think is going to pull it out, who's going to win, who your award winners are as well. Let us know.
Definitely agree. Baseball heating up, football starting. It's a great time of the year.
It's a huge time of the year. These
That
two
it
boys are
is.
going to go home tonight dreaming of Jimmer's fantasy football team and how they wish they could be that good. So
Ooh, we got to close
Oh,
it out.
man.
Jimmer is definitely misinformed. All right,
Definitely
guys. Thanks again for
misinformed.
listening. We'll catch you next time.